all the sand and the fog went down, I looked around me and there were something like 1,500 people around my car. I thought, oh, I think I killed somebody. Hello, I'm Stefano D'Aste. Today still racing. I work for Lotus Cars and I help them in the development of a new racing car project. Okay, I started my racing career as a rider, not by car, but as a rider. I did 125 and 250. When Valentino Rossi won his first championship in 125 and the Italian champion with the official factory, as official factory driver for Cagiva, I have been in the same team of him and I arrived fifth in the championship. And then I swapped to 250 and I arrived even fifth in the championship in 215. And I started with the touring cars in 2004 with BMW. Then if I think to my racing career, I did many crazy things. For example, in one of the race of 2006 in Macau, I think that Macau was I did Macau about 10 races in Macau, which is a completely crazy track because it was a track where we used the ratio of Monza track, so a very long ratio, high speed ratio, and in that track, there is a very famous corner called Mandarin, which is a very fast corner after the starting line. And you do that corner in almost flat out in fifth or sixth gear. It depends from how many gears has the car. When I did it was with BMW, we had five gears. So I had a problem when in the first free practice of the race. I had a problem. I called by radio my team, and my engineer was so stressed that he told me, no, you have to keep to run. I told him, no, I feel a very bad vibration in the front right, in the front left wheel. I want to stop it. No, you have to continue. You have to do many laps you can do. And but I stopped. I went in the pit. I pitted, and fortunately, they found a brake disc completely broken. And but the engineer put so many stress on the mechanics that they didn't have the right time to check even the brake disc in the front right. They told me, okay, go back on track and try to do the most of the laps that you can do. And I started, but when all the other cars are running in Macau, you cannot get in the track and go very slowly because you are in the middle of walls, and all the other cars were running from a long time, so they were coming in the point of the exit of the pit. They are around 220 km per hour. So I got back the track fast. I did the Mandarin corner, and they told me, but you have to pay attention in the first brake point because you have a new brake disc. So pay attention to it. And when I arrived in the first in the second corner, in the first very 90 degrees corner, which is called Lisboa, I arrived in the end of the straight to Lisboa, and I brake around 300 meters when usually you brake there around 100 meters. So I thought, okay, I brake a lot of before because I have a new brake disc and I don't want to have problems. But the problem was the brake disc on the right, which was already cracked. There were a big explosion. The disc destroyed completely the wheels, the suspension and everything, and the wheels went down the car. The car jumped very high. I was around 230 kilometers per hour. The car turns, I hit the wall. Hitting the wall, the crash pushed the airbox of the car, and the throttle was open at 100%, and I started to spin with something like in some moment peak of 20G, 15-20G, and in the first 2-3 donuts that I did, not on purpose, I was I couldn't realize where I was, and then I was very lucky because then I didn't have one wheel. In the steering was I couldn't control the car with the steering. The brakes were completely out because without a wheel, every time I pushed the brake, the oil. There were a big oil leak, so I didn't have pressure in the brake system. But I was able, with just one wheel that I could turn the steering, I was able to get the only free space of the track. I destroyed 5 barriers of tires on the track, and I arrived in the middle of the town in a roundabout. When all the sand and the fog went down, I looked around me, and there were something like 1,500 people around my car. I thought, oh, I think I killed somebody. I was so scared because I really thought probably I killed somebody because I was in the middle of the city. And from the pit, they called me and they asked me, because they saw everything by the TV. It was a very big crash. And I was okay. And I told them, yes, I'm okay, but I killed somebody. And they told me, no, you didn't kill somebody. And this was a very big crash. I did another very big crash in Monte Carlo, always in city truck with a Clio 3000 at the swimming pool corners. But in that truck was absolutely crazy because I crashed in the wall so bad that I had to do a day in the hospital to check my brain, but then the brain was okay, more or less. And so I was able to do the race. And in 2005, I have been the first driver of the World Touring Car Championship who won an absolute race. It was a absolutely crazy race in Spa-Francorchamps.
The cars come to the grid. David Leslie, umbrellas up, a sprinkling of rain, but the brollies are going back down. Surely that all the cars will start round 12 of the World Touring Car Championship on slick tyres.
The rain is holding off before the green flag is waved.
Cars heading off from the grid for round 12 of the World Touring Car Championship, the warm-up lap. Two of the top drivers, James Thompson for Alfa Romeo and Andy Prio, who was second in race one in his BMW, have opted for wet weather tyres, fully grooved wets, and the rest going for slicks.
All we started with the race was rainy, but on the grid, me and other drivers decided to put slick tires, and I started from the 18th position.
We have to wait and see when it starts and see just how quickly these guys go. On the second row there, third position is Thompson. See what happens to him.
Fabrizio Giovanardi on pole from Antonio Garcia. The grid is ready to go for round 12 of the World Touring Car Championship. Watch James Thompson in third position on the wet weather tyres. Not enough of an advantage, but Andy Prio is trying to go through with the Schnitzer boys. That's Jörg Muller. He gets attacked from Dirk Muller. Oh dear, this is Ricard Rydell's headlamp view, and already it's all broken loose down into Eau Rouge. That's Augusto Farfus is off. Prio is off. I think that's probably Dirk Muller who was alongside him. And Seat's head the queue. Peter Terting is at the front of the queue, behind Jörg Muller and Antonio Garcia and three of the Alfa Romeos. Thompson's wet weather tyres, not enough to give an advantage.
Certainly not take any risks. This is a championship winning position. He doesn't need to take a risk. He doesn't need to end up in the barrier. He doesn't need to end up with a bent car before the end of the race. If he can have the position, thank you very much, he'll take it, I'm sure. But,
here he comes.
It's getting a bit close here, all three.
Garcia turns Tarquini around. Who will come out of this? Giovanardi, no. Tarquini holds on to it. Stefano D'Aste goes straight through and may win it. But crucially, Dirk Muller gets going. Stefano D'Aste will win it. And that was not. I think he should keep that because he just avoided the huge melee in front of him. He could have stopped dead and let everybody through, but nobody else was going to do that. Stefano D'Aste will record the first independent trophy win of his career, and overall ahead of Giovanardi. Third will be Coronel.
And I won the race. In the end of the race, but the four cars in front of me did a big crash, and so I had a little argument with Alfa Romeo because they asked me back my first position. They tried to delete my position to have more points in their championship, but in the end they gave me just 3 seconds of penalty, so I arrived second in the race. And but the podium I was first, and what was very great for me it was that when I went to Fabrizio Giovanardi to give him back and to change my trophy with him, I told him, Fabrizio, this is your trophy, you arrived first because I have been penalized. And he told me, no, Stefano, this is your trophy because I win the races on the circuit. I don't win the races with the rules and with and so this was a very great thing for me.